can stop you from being deceived. If you try to find out what's up my sleeve, you can figure out what a bag of men. If you try, nothing can stop you from being deceived. Nothing can stop you from being deceived. Nothing can stop you from being deceived. Nothing can stop you from nothing can stop you from being deceived. Nothing can stop you from being deceived. Nothing can stop you from being deceived. Nothing can stop you from nothing can stop you from being deceived. Nothing can stop you from being deceived. Nothing can.
What's up?
Yo.
What's that? Appreciate that, man. Tank,
Downstairs, I had to run upstairs real quick.
boy, what's going on? Oh, you good? Ain't no
man.
rush. Ain't
I'm
no
good.
rush at all. How you doing,
Word,
man?
You seen it, man. Y'all seen it.
Hey,
That's what's up.
absolutely. Listen, it feel like I already know you, bro. I didn't watch so much of your content the last few days. Hey, listen, bro. You are a posting dog, my boy.
Hey,
You a dog.
it's
with
tough,
it, my
man,
boy.
but it's like I'm really hard on myself when it comes to recording and editing stuff. And it's like if I don't edit something and post something, I feel like I failed myself. You
Right.
know? Yeah. So I have to stay
Really?
on it, man. I have to give myself. I have to do it for me. I really don't do it for anybody else.
No doubt.
So I would assume that I would assume that you've gotten so efficient with it that it's not really as time consuming as it was when you first kind of
Yes or
started
no?
out, right?
And the reason why I say that is I just transferred from because I was using my phone for everything. I was using my YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, everything. And
Right.
I literally just got me a new laptop because I have so many videos on my phone.
Okay.
It would like up,
Right.
and load. So I'm like, so I just
Going through that
switched
right
over to
now.
getting everything, putting everything on the laptop for me. So I'm learning Premiere Pro basically like as I'm using it.
Okay.
So it's taking me a little longer now, but I'm getting the hang of stuff. But like on my phone, I'm really efficient with it. Man, I can edit a video in like 5 minutes. Like something for Instagram, 5 minutes to go.
Hey, it's crazy how that phone can turn into like a crutch, huh? Yeah. And then you always got your phone with you, so you shoot your video. You get if you get 10 minutes of downtime,
Right.
you can kind of bang out at least half of what you
sometimes,
want
man,
to do.
like for me, I'll shoot a reel at the shop, or even like if I'm just chilling at the house and I have an idea, I got like a little green screen effect. I can cut out the background and put the barbershop in the background.
Right.
But sometimes in between my clients at the shop, if I have like 5 or 10 minutes, I'll edit something real quick and I'll post it on Instagram, and my co-barbers will be like, bro, like you just literally sat down. How did you edit that video and post it? I'm like, doing it for so long, bro.
Yeah.
That was the question I was gonna have. How long you been doing the editing, just social media, period?
So I've been doing YouTube. I actually started doing YouTube more than Instagram, right? Like I was on Instagram, but I really wasn't active on it. Like I would post, but nothing crazy. I was on YouTube. I started in 2020, the beginning of 2020 is when I started my YouTube. And then like last year, for whatever reason, I said, you know what, I'm gonna start posting really hard on Instagram.
Right.
And then, like I just started posting on Instagram, 2 to 3 reels every day. And I went from like 5K to like 15K in like 2 months. Wow. And I'm at like 21K right now. But it's just consistency, man. I tell people all the time, like some of the stuff that I wanted to pop off, like I really thought like, man, this video is gonna pop off for me. I love it. Throw this idea I can think of. I'll get, 1,000 views, 2,000 views. And then I post a video of just me cutting hair, and now I would get 20K views, 30K views. So like, I don't even know sometimes what it is. Right. I just, you know what I'm saying? I just
something's gonna catch, right?
And you know what? That's not hard to believe, because I would assume somebody that posts the type of content that you post eventually is gonna pop, because I listened and I went through maybe 25 videos of yours just so that I can be familiar. You understand? I definitely don't want to get on here empty-handed and be like, hey, what's up, man? You cut hair, I cut hair. You know what I'm saying? So I went through it, but a lot of what you say and the way you say it resonated with not just me as a barber, but me as a man, as a person. You know what I mean? So it was only a matter of time. Now, before I ask you this first question, because I got a question that's been burning for like a week, because I wanted to ask you last week. So before I ask this question, let the people know who you are, what you represent, you know, how long you've been cutting, what give us a generalized story.
All right, man. So basically, long story short, I'm a barber in Texas, a Texas licensed barber. I want to make sure to emphasize licensed barber there, but I am a licensed barber. I've been a licensed barber for going on 16 years. And basically, man, like I've built myself through barbering, and it's crazy how back in the day, you know, 15 years ago, barbering wasn't like it is now, right? Like no one thought of anything of it. They just thought it was whatever. So I took that, and then the way things are moving nowadays with Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all that good stuff, I use that to help elevate me to be more on the social media side, because I used to do music back in the day. I always wanted to be like, I like being in the public eye. You know what I'm saying? I love the camera. You know what I'm saying? I like to talk. I like to hear myself talk, all that stuff. So when music didn't work out for me, I was kind of bummed, but I kind of used what I learned from music and transferred it to creating content. And now it's like starting to propel me into that next level that I'm trying to achieve, which is basically just try to be putting out content, motivating the next group of barbers. So I'm 35 years old, you know what I'm saying? I'm a seasoned barber in the game. So I'm trying to motivate these young cats and try to just spread my knowledge that I learned through 15 years.
And don't put that narrative out there. We young tenderonis. You understand what I'm saying? We young tenderonis. Hey, 35 is the new 20, my boy.
I'll take 35.
What you said. Until I get up in the morning and my back cracking, then that's a whole nother situation. But I think that's dope, man. I do want to ask, though, you say you was involved with the music for a few years before you kind of moved over and transitioned into barbering. I would think those go hand in hand, absolutely, because one is influencing the culture and the other one is caretaking to the culture that it's influencing. But why did you leave the music alone? Was it something that just, you know, it was a decision for you, or was it just, you know, something better was there?
When I was like, man, in middle school and high school, you know, I had Pro Tools, I had a bunch of stuff at the house, I had my own studio for a little bit. But what happened was me and my wife bought a house.
Okay.
Studio that we had, I was coming out of pocket a good chunk of money to pay for the rent at the studio, pay for all the equipment, the bills, all that stuff. And once I bought the house, at the time I had to sit down and think like, okay, I can keep the studio, but it's gonna really take a toll on us. Like we ain't gonna be able to do this, we ain't gonna be able to do that. You know, we may be stretching our money as, you know, pretty thin, and that wasn't something that I really wanted to do and put my family in that situation. So I took, you know, I just said, you know what, let me just take a step back. Let me get rid of all the stuff at the studio. I was supposed to start doing a studio at my crib, never got around to it, you know. So I let the studio go, bought the house, and just focused full-time on barbering.
No doubt. So I have a question.
Yeah.
So when did you start cutting? At what point? Was it something as a youngster, and just kind of did it, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there?
Yeah, so I started cutting, I want to say maybe when I was in 9th grade, I started cutting my own hair. You know, like I had some clippers and I would just do like a half or a one on top and a ball fade. I want to say I was about 14 years old, give or take, and then it went from me cutting my hair just to cutting the homies on the block, you know what I'm saying? My little homeboy down the street, my little brother, just little people here and there, and it just kept growing. And then once I was a junior or senior in high school, I don't remember exactly when, but I remember being either junior or senior, I knew I wanted to become a barber. I was already like, yeah, I'm going to be a barber when I get out of here.
Okay.
So that's our brother. Our literal big brother, because he like, that's Ace. That's Tank B Chopper, man. He makes a lot of content. He's not just a barber creator, you know, cutting hair content. He does motivational speaking. He does break down the day-to-day to the barbershop. He does perspective videos. And his editing is otherworldly, bro. It's insane. It's insane.
I just hit him with a. I just hit him with a ball. Look, I already heard him talk about the music thing. He already got me locked in with it. I've been listening to y'all whole interview.
Right. Definitely. So while we got you on the line, I want to ask you this, man. And this is a public question for everybody that's on live, all us, and everybody that's viewing the live right now. you made a statement, man, in one of your videos where you said you don't understand the philosophy of the new barbers. You don't really care to understand it. At the end of the day, you gonna cut hair until you can't cut hair no more.
I do.
You still feel that way?
Because I like cutting hair. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people chase it because it's good money. You know, everyone's like, oh, I want to cut hair because it can be good money. But I genuinely enjoy cutting hair, right? It's something I like to do. And it's like, why would I stop doing something I like to do because of age? Like, only reason why I will stop is if I can no longer physically do it, you know?
Right.
But I love cutting hair, man. Like, that's just what I like to do.
Right. So I'm a piggyback off that. It's interesting because I had a client today and we were talking and I don't remember what barber it was, but somebody had put up, you know, that they were a free agent. And so my client asked me, he was like, man, at what point did it miss? Like, what is it? Why, you know, why can't barbers just cut for the love and the passion and the art and the craft of it and let everything else follow? Like, he was kind of taken back that somebody would throw it out there, you know, as far as being a free agent. And the thing, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, you know, all the other things come with it. I see you get a lot of products and you do reviews, and you really have put yourself in a position to have, you know, a big following. But I'm like you, I want to cut until I can't cut anymore. Maybe not at the rate that I cut now, but you get a lot of young guys who jump in the game and they're like, my goal is to, you know, I want to get from behind the check. Like I enjoy it. Like it's serene to me and I love doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
And I get what you're saying, that maybe not at the rate you're going, you know, like obviously we won't be able to cut, you know, 20 heads a day or 15 or whatever it is for a long period of time. But at the same time, it's just, for me, it's a great passion, man. Like I like being in the barbershop, you know, kicking it with the guys, shooting the shit, just whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? And I just like being in the barbershop environment. So even if, like you said, we have to cut down our cutting time maybe to, you know, I'm in the shop right now 5 to 6 days a week, maybe 2 to 3 days or 3 to 4 if we have to. But still, I'm going to be cutting hair.
Absolutely.
Hey, I salute that philosophy.
You know I feel this, man. You know I feel the same exact way he do. It's just, like you said, it's just something you just genuinely like to do. So it's hard to just be like, nah, I'm just gonna stop doing that right now. It's kind of part of you at this point.
Yeah. And
I salute it. Me personally, man, I feel like, okay, so controversial take, right? I'm interested in cutting hair. I feel like I'll forever cut hair, right? Until God takes away my ability to use these, right? But I think at some point I'm looking to transition more into helping barbers coming into the industry at the foundational level, right? I really, I think I discovered my passion in talking to people who are interested in the industry and they want to learn the trade of barber, because the misconception is barbering is just, oh, you got to learn how to cut hair real good. You learn how to cut hair real good and use some enhancements, you good, you can make $100. And I think it's not enough people at the foundational level having that conversation with barbers to understand the philosophy of barbering, the philosophy of being a businessman, the philosophy of understanding how to be a servant of people. And that's kind of where I want to branch out to. But as far as picking up the clippers, absolutely, there's no way I'm finna be able to talk to somebody cutting hair and not reach out for them clippers to physically show them how to do it. So yeah, I think I'll be cutting forever, but in the shop behind the chair, ain't gonna happen.
I got you.
Okay. So
definitely. So we got a lot of people on here, man. It's a lot of people jumping in, asking questions and sending stuff in. First off, hey yo, did you catch that Ace of Fade in here? Did you see that?
Nah, I did.
Did you? It was somebody in here with your name, bro. Ace of Fade. They just ain't got the. They
that's why I
put
just like it's a lot. Like that's something when I kind of went with it. Like I already knew like it was gonna be a lot of different ones because I had seen it before. But that's why what kind of made me put the AO in front of it, because like that's like my my first and middle initial. Like everybody, well, y'all don't know. Well, y'all probably do. I got it everywhere. Austin O'Neal. Right. So that's where the AO come from. So I kind of used it to separate myself away from, because where I see it all the time. Like I see people come in and be like, "Hey, my name, you got my name." I'd be like, "It's kind of different," but I feel you.
Hey,
Right. So
I got a quick question.
where did your
for,
name come from, bro?
as you talk about the content, Shy, I got a kick out of it. And as we talk about us being in the shop and being servants, we also have spent time all gaining a skill that is necessary for everybody to have. So as you create that demand, you build up your price. So boy, I laughed all damn day when I seen the reel you did. Bitch, I ain't doing this shit for nothing. Well, I had laughing. That was one of the most perfect reels that I've seen, man. So what went behind that reel? Was it just getting people to understand our craft and what we do and the demand and the time that we've put into it? And so with that demand comes a certain price. What was behind it?
Yeah. So a lot of my reels, I try to speak to the genuine, like the whole barber community, not just like me. Like some of the stuff I say in my reels isn't like me feeling a certain way. It's just how we feel as a community sometimes, right? As barbers, we feel that our craft is very important. We try to make sure that we went to school for this, for one. So this is a craft we had to take the time to learn. We spent years behind the chair, practicing it, getting better, servicing these clients, learning new things, these clients. That way they have a really fresh haircut, right? It was more of a try to make these people understand that we ain't doing this for nothing. Like we done went to school for this. We're continuing to learn about new techniques, enhancements, all this other stuff. Continue to learn all these new things. That way we can give the best product and the best service. So it's like no one gets mad at someone who's hustling some fruit on the side of the road, or no one gets mad at someone who's out washing cars, cutting grass. Like they respect that. So it's like, why, when it comes to barbering, people want to try to undercut us and be like, oh, well, now I can go down the street and pay $10 or $15 or whatever the price may be, right? So as barbers, as professionals, I feel that we need to set that standard a little higher. That way people can understand that there are some barbers who will charge $5, $10, $15, whatever. But then you have those barbers that are barbers, not just regular barbers, but the barbers. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. Okay.
So that question down there by Q3 Barber, how y'all feel about fellow barbers smelling like weed and using foul language in the shop? I think that speaks a lot to the point that Tank is talking about right now, as far as setting that standard. The standard that you set kind of dictates your value in the barbering. Would you like to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, man. So regardless, like, yes, every barber in the shop, for most shops, if it's a booth rent shop, each barber is their own boss, right? Technically, you can do as you please. You're paying your booth rent. You're a contractor. You don't have set rules. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, kind of. But the thing is, the man next to me may cause me to lose a client because he's talking a certain way, smelling like weed or whatever. So I think there are certain boundaries, and I think the older barbers understand that a little more. But I think some of the new barbers, the younger barbers, the ones just coming out of school, want to come in and think, oh, I became a barber, so I can do this. I can do what I want. Like, yeah, in a sense you can, but we have a set of, I don't want to say rules, but a set of guidelines that you kind of need to follow. You don't want to be cursing when you have women in the shop. Now, if it's a shop full of men, hey, you know what it is. It is what it is, So when you get women and children, you might want to cut that down a little bit, be a little more respectful. And also, like, the whole smelling like marijuana thing, it's like, I don't see how that's cool. Like, I get it. Some people like to do it, but it's like, why would you want to smell that way? Like, you should want to promote yourself with the utmost respect. And I don't think smelling like marijuana, walking around trying to be a businessman, because that's basically what you are as a businessman, smelling like marijuana, I don't think that's a smart move. Absolutely. Unless you're selling marijuana. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Absolutely. I think that's the conversation I was having with a younger client of mine earlier this week, actually. Was it early? Yeah, it was earlier this week, around Monday, Tuesday. I was trying to explain to him that at some point we have to realize, like, everybody on this live right now, in the live, we all above the age of 30, right? Okay. Well, that's all being above the age of 30. We can remember a time where everybody didn't need to know your business. You know what I mean? What you did, that's your business. Everybody don't need to know your business. Well, we live in a day and age now where it's brought to the forefront, and it's like the cigarette ads were pointed at us. The marijuana, THC, and vapes and all those ads are pointed at the youth. So we coming up in a generation where the younger generation of barbers have accepted and adopted that as their normal. Where it's like if you would go back in the day, certain stuff that we was doing in the shop or that we saw barbers, our elders doing in the shop was it was normal. It wasn't something that was understood to be a bad practice of business until somebody had that discussion and said, hey, this might not be the most conducive way to approach this business, right? And it's hard having that conversation with the younger generation of barbers to let them know that it's okay that you partake in whatever things you do in your private time. But being able
extracurricular activity.
Say again. Yeah, extracurricular activity. If you like that magical dragon, that's your business, right? But you have to understand that you live in a world now where everything is this fast. Yeah. So just like you gain it that fast, you lose it that fast. So what you got to do is be able to separate your lives. Your professional barbering life shouldn't be your recreational life, because just like Tank was saying, not only do you not want to misrepresent yourself in a business fact, you don't want to be the person that someone's looking at for an opportunity and then you the wasted opportunity because you got all these other elements about you that I just cannot have being a extension of what it is that I want to offer you. You may be the perfect person for what it is that I have in mind, but because you have this thing about you, I got to find somebody else. I have to settle for somebody else because the blessing ain't gonna be found with you because you squandered it away because you too what's the word? You too prideful. You don't want to put your personal aside. You want to be you. You want an NBA young boy your way into the barbering career, and that ain't gonna work, man. Yeah,
I agree with what you said.
So Tank, do you own the shop you're in? Kind of tell us about your situation, your day to day.
Okay. Yeah, so no, I don't own the shop. So I've been in the same shop since I've started working in the barbershop. I had gotten an opportunity to work in this shop when my daughter was born. The day after, the day we were in the hospital with her being born, my old client, or he was a client at the time, called me and wanted a haircut. And I was like, hey man, I can't get you. I'm at the hospital, whoop-de-woo. He's like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go back to the shop that I normally go to, which is the shop I'm at now. And he goes, I'm just gonna go there. And I was like, all right, cool. And he calls me maybe an hour and a half later, 2 hours later. I don't know how long it was. He's like, hey, the owner said if you want a job. And I was like, well, shit, yeah. Like, I just got out of barber school. Like, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sign me up.
Like, well, here's his number. Give him a call. So I called the shop owner later on that day, and I just told him my situation. And he's like, this was a Friday. So he's like, well, can you start tomorrow? I was like, yeah. He goes, all right, we open up at 10. I was like, all right, cool. Went there the next morning. I was there like at 9:30, ready to go, set up my equipment, ready to cut. Nervous as hell in there cutting. First cutting in a shop environment other than my house or my mom's house, the restroom, or at barber school. So it was a little different. I had never been in a shop environment with other actual professionals, right? It was something different. But yeah, man, we ended up just growing with each other. Like everyone who I started with, 3 of them are still there. Okay. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like it's a weird thing because it's rare that you see a lot of barbers stay at one shop for a long amount of time. So when I say 3, that's including myself. So it's 2 plus me. And yeah, man, we just kind of meshed, became like a family, and we just kept going where we're going.
Now, are they as active on social media as you are?
Not at all, man. Not at all. One of them, they both have social media, but they're both a little older than me. One is 5 years older than me, I believe, and the other one's about 9 or 8 years older than me. Okay. So they have social media, but they don't be on it. You know what I'm saying? They just be searching, liking pictures, stuff like that.
So let me ask you this. That brings up a great point, right? So being in a barbershop with guys that you've all created this cohesive way of existing in that same environment, and you being a social media barber, because whether you want to claim yourself to be that or not, you are, bro. You a social media barber. Like you a social media sensation in the sense of what barbers do and your ability to captivate people through your screen, right? Right. AO is a great advocate of that, bro, because AO post content so fire. It's like, God damn, bro. Like I'm wasting my time, bro. But we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that tonight, bro. But with you being a social media barber inside of a shop where the other guys aren't as into, you know, active on social media like that, does that cause any conflict? Has that ever came up in any conversations where, you know, it's like, damn, bro, like you always recording, or don't swing the camera this way?
Nah, so it's funny because, like I said, there's 2 other barbers that I've been working with for a long amount of time, and we have another barber who he's been there 10 years, but he came in after me. He hasn't been there as long as I have, and he's younger than me. He's like 5-6 years younger than me. But none of them have ever been like, bro, why are you recording? A lot of times they want me to record stuff, or they'll give me ideas like, hey, you need to do this, or send me reels. You know, I love it, man. It's dope because my boy Germ, shout out to my boy Germ, he'll send me reels that he's scrolling and seeing. He goes, hey, what if you do this for barbering and switch this, and that? Good idea. I appreciate it. And then I'll take it, tag him in it, you know what I'm saying? Just give him a little shout out. And you know what I'm saying? And he's just not as into the social media as I am, you know what I'm saying? So they really encouraged me to do a lot of what I'm doing. And both of the other guys that I was working with actually influenced me to start doing YouTube. They're like, bro, you need to start doing YouTube because you're good at talking. You like being on camera. You might as well start doing YouTube. So I'm like, man, you know what? Y'all right. And it's been love, man. Like they all come in, like they all help me out. And then even when the new barbers come in, and we have a new barber who just started a couple weeks back, he's like, bro, he goes, I knew I had seen you before, but I didn't know you were that tank. I was like, that's crazy.
So do all the other barbers, is it a barbershop thing or is it an individual thing? See, you get, you know, a lot of packages, different clippers, you do the clipper review. Do they all benefit off those packages? Is it a barbershop thing, or is it just exclusively since you've been doing social media and you've leveraged yourself to be visible?
Yeah, so I mean, most of the stuff gets sent to me, but everyone benefits from it. Like if I get some clippers, I'll use them and I'll be like, hey Joe, check out this trimmer. What you think about it? Hey Matt, check out this clipper. What do you think? Hey Germ, let me know what you think about this shaver. I'll let them try it out and see what it is. And sometimes I'll record them using it and I get their impressions from the tool. And then sometimes I'll get stuff that I just don't like. You know, like even I'll purchase some stuff and it just wasn't for me. Right. And if y'all want to try this tool, this clipper, trimmer, whatever it is, y'all can come grab it. And if y'all like it, y'all can keep it. You know, like, it ain't for me. So they all benefit from it.
No doubt.
That's dope having that kind of support and you actually sharing your success with them, because that's what that is. That's a fashion of sharing your success with them. You know, you're able to have these availabilities and these things become available to you that otherwise most barbers don't get. So in order to be in that position and then say, hey, y'all partake, come on this journey with me. I know you don't want to be in front of the camera and all that. That's cool, but try these out. Let me know what your impressions of them are. That's inclusion, man. And I know they probably tell you this if y'all been working together that long, but I'm sure they appreciate that.
Oh yeah. Like they love it, man. They're like, cause it's funny because the barber in the first chair, his name's Joe, and he always asks me, goes, hey, do you have this clipper? I want to try it out. And he loves the Andis Masters, so he has a thing about trying every clipper with the Andis Masters blade. So he'll get patient and put the mat because he wants that corded master feel. Because the cordless masters don't cut the same, right? They just feel different. So he's trying to find something that gives him that corded master feel, but something that's wireless.
Right.
So he's trying everything. So he always asks me like, "What you got that I can try with the Andis blades today?"
What you said his name was? Joe. Hold on, let me do this real quick. Look at this camera, Joe. You stop looking, Joe. It don't exist. They ain't made it, Joe. We all been waiting for that, Joe. It ain't coming, man.
Yeah.
It is not coming.
Hey, you Shy.
Yeah.
What questions? You done run into any questions? I see you have one pen.
Yeah, I got you got Barbie Pink Barber. That's a dope name. I'm not gonna lie. That's hard. Dope name. From now on, we calling you BPB. BPB say, what's your favorite part of being a barber? That's a great question. Great question.
That can be.
Don't everybody.
Yeah, that question, man. That question can be all like we could be going on all day. Like, man, everything from just meeting new people, just doing what you love, from just the whole business, just the growth that comes with it, just man, everything is like. I think it'll be an easier question saying what you don't like about barber. To be honest.
Okay, so what don't you like about barber? Because you know, listen, if you ain't ever seen Tank's content, he is not afraid to say what people not gonna like, bro. So that's what I'm talking about, AO, bro. That's why you the big homie, bro. So what don't you like about barber?
So me personally, this may just be me, and I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna say it because I like to be transparent, man.
Right.
One of my biggest pet peeves about barbering, or one thing I don't like about barbering, is when I have them clients who don't want to stop looking in the mirror. It's like I'm cutting your hair, and you know, as barbers, we working, right? And we brush the hair down, and we turn around and look at the mirror, and I can't even see the blend because he's turning around and looking at the mirror also. So I'm like, bro, get your head right. Let me, like, you're going to see it when I'm done. Let me do what I do to get you right. That's my biggest things that I do not like about dealing with certain clients.
Facts.
Yeah, I hate the ones that be saying, you be like, hold your head up, man, you sleep. Head in their lap. You trying to line them up, their head in their lap.
Hey, that mean they comfortable though. You put them to sleep, dog.
Yeah.
Man, you about to, man, it's gonna be more. You gonna mess around and wake up and look like somebody else.
Man,
listen.
So for me, my pet peeve is when you're positioning their head for a certain purpose and they keep moving.
Yeah.
Like you'll start here, you'll lift it up, and then it'll start going back down. You steady lifting it up. I mean, kids I understand, but grown men, boy, that man.
You
burn you up.
You know what's funny is that you say that, it reminds me of like,
head for a reason. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you
that's
the worst one though is when you lining their mustache and you take that look up and they looking you dead in your face. Like, oh man, I can't stand that.
Hey, I wanted to add something you said. You know, with creating content, that's a big thing too, because we got TVs in the shop for, you know, obviously for the clients to watch TV. But sometimes it's hard when I'm like recording because I have my camera behind me on my mirror shooting this way, and I have them positioned to where the camera can get the angle properly, but they're doing this to try to watch the TV. I'm like, bro, I'm cutting your hair, like I want to see the TV, but I'm recording. Like, you told me it was cool to record, and I'm still trying to maneuver things to work around it. But I mean, I don't hate that, but that is something that's kind of hard to deal with sometimes.
I think it's a lot of things in the barbershop, man. And then I think the biggest one for me, the absolute biggest one for me, man, is when guys get in my chair and they've been cool the whole haircut, no problem. Soon as I go to line their head up, I don't know why men do this, but they do this.
Man, yeah, man.
I'm like, hey, relax your eyes.
Relax your forehead.
Relax your eyes, bro. It's like, all right, bro, when you get this M on the top of your head, when I put this squiggly line up there, don't post me on social media saying I messed you up, bro. You did this to you, bro.
Look, I
can't stand that, bro.
I tell them, look down with your eyes, not your head. Just look down with your eyes, not your head. Because, man, they can turn the hairline so upside down.
I got another one for you, bro. Oh, also, pro tip for everybody in the live that's listening. Make sure you sharing the live. Share the live so more people can get on here so that we can keep this thing popping. If y'all fall off, we gonna fall off. We ain't talking to y'all about nothing unless y'all on here listening about something. But another pro tip for the people in the live, if you see somebody,
chat, add to that, everybody who's not following the page.
Yeah.
Follow button. So
if you're not following, hit the arrow at the top and follow the I Cut My Way Out podcast. Also, make sure you go follow Tank. I know most of y'all in here probably already following Tank, but go follow Tank.
Y'all follow everybody in this room right now. Like that arrow, follow everybody.
Fact. So this was my tip for you, right? I figured this out. I didn't understand it before when I first started barbering, but it makes sense now. If you see somebody out in public and they line and look like the brim of this hat, it's arched like that, it's because they doing like this. When they barber lining their head up, they looking at the ceiling. If they line and look like this, It's because they looking at their feet while they in the line.
Makes sense.
Pro tip, bro. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Now, every time y'all go out, y'all gonna start looking at people lining like,
What was he doing in the chair?
it's upside down, bro. We know what you be doing in the chair.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Let's see. We got a lot of comments came in. I'm so sorry.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's
Right.
This one that's tagged is as a new barber. How do y'all feel about handing business cards to coworkers, clients? Let me make sure I read that right. Hold up. As a new barber, how do y'all feel about handing business cards to your coworkers, clients, with the intentions of those customers possibly bringing other potential clients to you?
All right, so let me jump in on this.
Go ahead,
So,
bro.
I'm gonna give two scenarios, two ways of looking at it.
Okay.
From my point of view, I'm a seasoned barber, right?
Okay.
So the way I tell the new barbers in here, I wouldn't necessarily say give them a card, but when clients walk in, I tell the new barbers, like, it don't matter if that client is here for an appointment or a walk-in or whatever. Ask them if they have an appointment or if you can get them. I said, because who knows? What if I'm running behind or whatever? If they go with you, that's cool. I'm okay with that because he obviously needed to jump ship and hurry up and get out. Cool, whatever.
Right.
It doesn't bother me. You know what I'm saying? Me personally. But as an older barber, I would never try to do that to a newer barber.
Okay.
You feel me? Like, I would never try to step on their toes because we should be trying to help build them up, right? So I'm never going to hand out my cards or try to solicit my services to anyone in the shop unless I know they're my clients or they're walk-in clients. But as a new barber, I can understand how they can mistakenly promote to other clients, or even if they do it on purpose. Like, it's not going to bother me. Me personally, it ain't going to bother me because if they really my client, they going to be my client. And if they jump, they probably had a good reason to, or they really weren't my client. Right. You know, they was just here for the moment.
Right. You know the philosophy, man. Your client is only your client when they're in your chair.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the philosophy. How you feel about that, Ash, man?
Me, man, I deal with loyalty. You know, if a new barber is coming in, you know, I'm going to push for them their services, right? But I think you cross an unspoken line, you know, in the brotherhood when you start passing out business cards to somebody that's sitting in somebody else's chair, whether it's me, whether it's someone else. As a shop owner, that would be something that I wouldn't allow and wouldn't be cool with, because I think at some point in time, you know, something would rear its ugly head. You know what I mean? It says something to me about an individual. You know, one thing, if I can't get him, say, hey, man, you know, my man gets down, I don't have time, but hey, you know, you could hook up with him if he's free or whatever. But I think imposing on somebody else's clientele, I think that's a toe step, me personally.
Nice. I agree.
I can see that.
What about you, Ayo? Talk to me, Ayo.
Yeah, I feel both of y'all though. I understand both of y'all saying for sure, and I definitely agree with it. But like I said, it just depends on how. Like I feel like if you're trying to, you know, build your clientele as far as like you need help building it, but like you said, giving it to somebody else's client, yeah, it ain't gonna, you know, it'll draw some red flags to a certain extent. But like you said, some people just, you know, mean no harm. They just trying to, you know, just wanna grow, you know, eager to grow.
Yep.
So that's just a real cautious situation, really. But at the same time, like you said, if you, I'm like Tank said, like I don't have no problem with it. You know, I don't have no. It wouldn't make me feel no type of way, but you know, they probably.
I'm
probably want to ask first, cause man, my clients are trip, man. They're a trip.
In my clientele and what I do, right? So it's not so much even that, cause like Tank said, if in shot, you weren't my barber to begin with if you jump chairs, and that happens, right? So that ain't even an issue. To me, it just speaks the character of the individual.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If at the end of the day, you know, you do that on a bigger scale, I can't jam with you because that says something about who you are. And if you try to get over somebody behind some clientele, what would you do behind some money? You know,
Yeah.
a woman. You know what I mean?
Potentially.
So
I can see.
start to look
I
at
can see
that.
that. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But for me, I think is more so. I try to go by the philosophy, right? The biggest thing that stuck out is that that's a new barber that's doing it, right? So this kind of speaks to that whole thing of me wanting to meet them at that level, right? That's one of those fundamental things that if no one taught you that, I can't fault you for not knowing what you don't know. You don't know. You just, everybody that you've talked, that you've listened to on social media, everybody on Facebook tell you promote, push your business, give out your business card. You just trying to follow suit with what you've been recommended to do. So it's potential that you unintentionally stepped on a toe. You know what I mean? I think in that case, the biggest need to happen in a situation like that, in my personal opinion, is whoever the seasoned barber is, or whoever the barber that it happened to, you need to be able to put your pride and ego aside and your own assumptions of things, pull that young barber aside and talk to him.
Absolutely.
Kind of put them on the same, at least then if I have a conversation with you and then it continues to happen, now I can make the assumption that that's who you are. Because I gave you the information. Now you can't fall on the you don't know what you don't know, because you know, and you're still doing it. So that question made me come up with another question. I actually wasn't going to answer that. I was just going to go right into the next question. The next question is poaching in a barbershop, right? It happens. It happens all the time. But what made me think about this question was the fact that it was talking about a young barber. What are some of the most troubling things that you guys are seeing in the newer generation of barbers coming into the barbershop?
Right. Somebody said, give your number to his girlfriend because you're single. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same thing.
Hey,
No doubt.
man, we got to pin that. That's a ooh.
Man, that's diabolical, dude. Like, you talking about get back.
All right.
Hey,
That's some real
that's immediate
get back.
smoke signals, bro. I won't smoke. Definitely. So yeah, what do y'all think about that, man? What are some things, some trends that you seeing with the younger generation of barbers? Rather, it don't have to necessarily be anybody that you're seeing in your shop, but we all seeing newer barbers every day on social media. We've all been to the schools. You're seeing what's happening in the schools. What are some of the things that you're seeing with the new generation of barbers that you think is not what's up, man? It's not conducive to the industry. It's not conducive to barbering or whatever.
All right, so I want to answer this first real quick. I think one thing that a lot of the younger barbers, new barbers straight out of barber school do that is not right, or I guess it's not right, is they want that instant gratification. Mm-hmm. They want to come into the shop and charge that top dollar price. Mm-hmm. They want to come in the shop and charge more than everyone in the shop because they feel that they're worth it. Not saying that their haircuts aren't good, but they feel that they're worth it. When it's like, in the barber industry, you have to put in the work, right? People respect you for putting in the work. You can't just jump in the game and want to charge this when clients don't even know who you are, never seen you in the barbershop before. You just the brand new kid in there, and you charging more than the most seasoned barber in there. I'm not going to be in the shop today because I ain't got no appointments. Right. So they leave, and now they're missing out on walk-ins. Now they're messing up their own clientele because they're so in their own head wanting to be that big barber, that social media, that fancy barber, whatever you want to call it. Right. So they come in the game with the wrong mindset, I think, not especially nowadays. They want that instant fame, that instant gratification. They want to come in and just get all that when it's like, we need to work towards that. Mm-hmm. Like, I get it. If you don't have an appointment, you want to leave, that's cool. But let's build you up first to where it doesn't affect you financially for you leaving because you didn't have an appointment.
I agree. Piggyback on something you said, that's the biggest pet peeve for me, man, that I see is it's the amount of entitlement that I see coming from the newer generation of barbers. Yeah. That whole philosophy, that whole mindset of I ain't got no appointment, so I ain't going in today, or my last head, I ain't got no more heads for the next 4 hours. I'm leaving early or I'm coming in late. That's such a selfish way of thinking, because first and foremost, you're limiting your own growth and potential, because you can't cut 100% of the heads that you're not there to cut.
Yeah.
You're not there to cut them. You can't cut it. you're not there to cut it, you can't turn them into a client. That's just simple math. That's how that works. But I also feel like it needs to be said, and I've said it a few times, but it needs to be said even louder. Maybe coming from you, it'll resonate a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's a video idea, nothing, but I feel like people need to understand that when you aren't there in the barbershop, you're negatively affecting the barbershop.
Yeah.
You negatively affecting everybody else in the shop, because although Tank is there, Ayo there, Ash there, I'm there, but if these other 3 younger guys not here, when the clients come in the shop, the first thing they see is the empty chairs.
Right.
They wonder, dang, why? Clients associate a full barbershop, be it even if it's just barbers at each chair. They associate a full barbershop with a good barbershop.
Yeah.
They associate a vacant barbershop, maybe I shouldn't come back.
Right.
It's unfortunate, but that's how it goes.
Yeah.
But also, it's a bad environment builder when every time somebody come in the shop, it's only 2 or 3 people that I communicate with, because we got to understand barbershop is what we do. We break bread. We have conversations. A lot of times people come to the barbershop so much that clients make and mend friendships with other clients, because I come every Saturday. He also come every Saturday for his barber, so I know him. I'm familiar with him. We can pick up on that same conversation.
Right.
Well, you'll never get a chance to be a part of that ecosystem if you're not there, or you cut out early. It's just, to me, it's frustrating, and it comes from a very, very, very selfish state of mind. It's a selfish way of thinking, man.
I would agree. I think social media has been a beautiful tool for our industry, but in some instances it is done just as bad. Coming out of barber school now, guys look at for instance, Tank B Chopping. You know, you've gained notoriety. You know what I'm saying? You're a seasoned vet, but they don't know your backstory, right? So they just see, okay, Tank B Chopping and guys like that. So we want to jump right out of you know, barber school, and we want to get it cracking. We want to be that barber that sets the world on fire overnight. So we want to, you know, with privilege, and we want to do appointments and all the old things that got barbers to where they may be now, or where they got to at the pinnacles of their career. You know, being able to be there and be patient to build your clientele, cutting kids. Like you'll see some guys, you know, they don't want to cut kids, or they don't want to take walk-ins, you know, and haven't been doing it long enough. And like you said, that gives a black eye on the business when people walk in and you're never able to service clients. It's just they think they're going to pop off overnight. And I think that's one of the things that has went in a backwards direction with the industry. You know, you gotta pay your dues in anything it is that you do when you're new to it.
Absolutely. Real quick, with everybody in the live, do us a favor. Down on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, there's a little arrow. I want you to tap that arrow and share it live to 5 people. If we get everybody to share this live to 5 people, we can build this crowd up again, and we can get this thing popping again. Also, while you sharing the live, make sure you tap the arrow at the top of the screen, right up there. You tap the arrow at the top of the screen and follow everybody back. We follow everybody. We also follow back. I know I follow back. I gotta follow back, because I gotta see what you're doing. I want to know. So follow us, tap in, share the live to 5 people, get it back up. But let's get back into this thing. We got a question down at the bottom about Ace of Phase. We need to know, Ace of Phase, what's your age, bro? I want to know if you're the original. I need to know if you're the original, bro.
Who the OG?
Who the OG in the live, bro? The question about Ace of Phase is social media promotion better than passing out business cards?
I would say in today's day and age, yes, because when was the last time someone gave you a business card or a flyer and you actually looked at it and kept it? Exactly. See the fact that y'all thinking, right? So social media, man, we go to social media.
Probably use it to do my hair. I ain't gonna do that to you. I ain't do that to you. Don't believe that.
And everyone's always on their phone on social media.
Right.
You go to Walmart, people are on their phone on social media. You go to the gym, people are on their phone on social media in between sets. At the barbershop, the clients are on their phone while they're getting haircuts, right? So it's like social media is probably the biggest pond of people where you can throw your rod in to reel in a client. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not posting on social media, that is an issue. Now you can still get clientele without social media, but putting yourself on social media is putting yourself out there to more people watching you, more people seeing you, more people who can possibly turn into a client. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel that social media is a great way to build clientele. And, I've done it on Instagram, even on YouTube. People were like, I saw your YouTube video and I wanted to come in and get a haircut by you. People have flown from different parts of the country to come get a haircut by me. Now, they weren't long-term clients, but, you know, it was still cool. So I think social media is probably one of the best way to promote, in my opinion. I'm not saying it's the only way that works or whatever, but in my opinion, social media is better than handing out business cards.
I agree. I think that social media is way more powerful than we like to give it credit for. However, I am a subscriber to still having business cards on hand, because every now and again you will get that walk-in that comes in, and it's still crazy to me that it happens, but the walk-in to come in, you will be able, you know, to squeeze them in between or whatever the case may be, cut their hair. And the first thing they ask is, man, you got a business card?
Right.
When I didn't have it, it was kind of like, how do I explain to this 80-year-old man how to use social media to book an appointment?
Right.
Yes. So having that business card is still a powerful enough tool. Well, it's relevant in 2023.
Right.
But if you're not marketing yourself on social media, you are undervaluing your potential tremendously. Yeah. Tremendously. You're missing the mark.
It's interesting what I learned. So, Hank, I've been cutting for over 20 years, but full time only 4. I worked in the school system, coached basketball. So when I went full time, you know, prior to that, I had a limited clientele because I couldn't, you know, I could only cut so many heads, working a full-time job and then coming home, right? So when I got in the shop and I started to put up pictures, because I like a dinosaur, you know what I mean? For me, I didn't know nothing about social media, nothing like that. I knew Facebook, that was it. So my wife and my kids put me on to it. And then what I started to notice as I continued to grow, and even with my Beard Culture apparel brand, anytime I would post something, I would turn around and somebody would book with me. Or somebody would contact me, you know, for a t-shirt or a hat. It was amazing. I think in your geographic area, it's cool to pass out business cards, and I still believe that word of mouth is always going to be your biggest marketing tool. But to get on here and to have guys, and we watch barbers like yourself and barbers all over attract clients from all over the country and sometimes the world because of their marketing and promotion on Facebook. So I think it hits a much a wider range of people. So I think both of them are in this industry are very necessary. Because, and another thing I'm going to say, because of reciprocity agreements within state to state, if I'm barbering and I'm visible on social media, it may be a little easier for me to pick up and relocate and make my presence felt somewhere, opposed to passing out those business cards. I have my portfolio, you know, reels and pictures of haircuts, and so I think this platform has done amazing things for the industry.
I agree. I didn't even think about that. That's a great point. Be it that you're recording and you're capturing everything you're doing, not only are you capturing your growth, you're able to critique yourself and learn from your prior captures or whatever you were doing, how to better approach something. A lot of times I go back and watch old videos and I reassess, like, it's a better way I could have said that. It's a better way I could have positioned that, or whatever the case may be. But that's a great point you bring up. Your social media presence is also your walking portfolio. You got to think, as barbers, stylists, estheticians, and nail techs, things like that, without, this is unsolicited, okay? We're not saying anything that we're saying is a fact, okay? But as a barber, stylist, esthetician, anything in this beauty industry, you could go anywhere on this planet and be a 6-figure person, anywhere on the face of the earth. And invent yourself to a six-figure person, whether they know you or not, just off your ability to service people and render service.
Right.
That as long as we share this planet Earth, is going to be needed
Right.
until they come out with the new virus that make hair. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. So I did want to add something just to talk about, because we're kind of on that topic. Was one thing that has really worked for me, and I've seen it work for a lot of barbers also, is Google. Make your business find, to where people can see it on Google. Have people write you reviews, so when people search, because you're gonna be Googling where's a barbershop in my area. If you move to a new city, you're gonna get on Google barbershops around me. So if you can build yourself your business presence, if you can build that up on Google, get good reviews, you're responding to all your reviews and comments, it builds up that business, and it starts to put it out there more for when people do search up barbers or barbershops in the area. You put yourself at a higher chance of getting looked at or even booked, because I think that has worked better for me more than Instagram and more than passing out cards.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's up? That's what's
so you saying the bigger you cast your net, right?
Yeah.
Casting your net. I've heard it put that way before, and I think that's one of those philosophies. I would think that, okay, somebody like yourself that's been on YouTube for a few years, that's something that you had to adopt into your approach to building up your following base on YouTube. You had to cast a bigger net, which means you got to post more, which means you got to engage more.
Yeah.
So being able to promote yourself across all multiple platforms, okay, it makes sense, my guy.
Right.
It makes sense, my guy. You might have hit on one right there.
Right.
I
we got a question down here. It says, Stylist Brianna, are attending trade shows worth it?
I think.
Go ahead.
Personally, yeah, I believe they are. I think it's worth it because, let's say, for instance, you go to a trade show, right? If you've never been to a trade show, the first thing you're going to experience is a jolt of energy that you haven't experienced in a long time, because you are going to be in a room absolutely surrounded by like-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
Like-mindedness in the sense that they got love for this industry like you do. Enough love that they got up, took off, or took their off day, because we only get those 2 a week, most of us, right? They took one of them off days and they came to a trade show. So that in itself, you got something to talk about. So for me, that's one of the biggest draws to going to the trade shows and the barber shows. And I'm not going to eat them all up. It's some more. Y'all go ahead and eat too. This table is for everybody, man.
Yeah, so I think, like you said, I was going to say basically the same thing. When it comes to these trade shows, like you said, you get so much, like, you're just excited to be there. Right. You're linking people. The fact that you have all these people in the same room with you who are wanting to do something similar to what you're doing, whether it be promoting on social media. That most trade shows, they'll have someone there teaching you how to promote social media. Whether you're trying to get new tools, most trade shows going to have these barber companies or even these beautician companies out there selling new tools or new products. So you get a lot of this energy from the new stuff that's out there. The people who are out there recording just going crazy. And then that energy that you feel from everyone is just, it's always positive in my opinion. And I think that it is worth it, because you're going to be motivated as heck when you get back. Like you're going to be ready to go. Now that motivation may leave, but like when you have that motivation, that's a good time to start thinking about what your next move is.
Right.
Thanks.
So for me, they say your network equals your net worth. Mm-hmm. And so that's an opportunity to go there and network with people and meet people from all over the country. They're providing classes, so different techniques, different ideologies that, you may not be accustomed to. So not only are you networking and you're meeting new people and you're getting that jolt of energy, because not only, like-minded people, but this is your lane and this is what you do for a living. And you're also seeing that what you aspire to do is possible, because now you're able to follow so many barbers. So you're seeing big name barbers that are doing amazing stuff. So it puts that battery in your back to say, I can do the same thing. So you get a little bit of everything. Those new tools you're able to access that maybe other people didn't access. So yeah, I think it's well worth it. Yeah.
Also, don't undersell the value of just going and doing something relaxing, because a lot of times you don't have to go to a trade show to overwhelm yourself. It's not supposed to feel like work, right? You could go to a trade show and just take in the festivities. You're gonna have people cutting hair, you're gonna have vendors, you're gonna have people selling food, you're gonna have clothes, tools, like he said, you're gonna have showcasing barbarists and stylists.
Right.
Go and just take in the environment and enjoy being immersed somewhere that's part of the industry that you're in.
Right.
Another big takeaway from partaking and going to trade shows is the more you go to them, more value you're gonna take back to your shop. Wherever you cut hair, wherever you do what you do on a day-to-day basis, you're gonna start to take value back, because it's almost impossible to go to a trade show and not pick up something to add to your repertoire of what you're doing. It's almost impossible.
Absolutely. It was a comment earlier, or a question earlier. And
down here, what are y'all views on traveling barbers, or is it better to stay stationed at a location?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I don't personally know any traveling barbers. Well, I know a few. I misspoke. I do know a few, but I don't know what their business model looks like, right? So I really can't speak on how a traveling barber's situation is, but I know for me, being at the barbershop is what works for me, right? So I would never go into trying to do a mobile barber, because that's not something I've learned. That's not something that I know how to do. I mean, if I needed to learn it, I'm pretty sure I could.
Right.
But my lane is being at a barbershop. So my opinion is going to be being in a barbershop. That's what I know, right? But I can't really speak on which one's better. But I'm pretty sure you can make a good living doing either or.
Absolutely.
I agree. I think you can make a lot of money being a traveling barber, but it has to, you have to have a lifestyle to sustain it.
Right.
If you got a family, you got somebody waiting for you at home, that lifestyle is not, it ain't it, bro.
It can be hectic.
Yeah. It can be extremely, very hard to manage. Very hard on your time, very hard on you. You know, I'll give you a brief story, right? I used to travel like to different states doing services. I would get, asked to come out to this state or that state or whatever, I was so excited to do it that I didn't consider or even think how it would affect my day-to-day ability, to do everything else with the family, or how it would affect my ability to be in the shop. I just knew I wasn't going to be there this day and that day. But I'm going to go, because this opportunity is here now, so I'm going to go take this opportunity. I'm gone. Yeah. Bro, one of the biggest mistakes of that is when you come back, you still got to sustain the day-to-day.
Absolutely.
Still got to be daddy. You still got to be husband. You still got to be a barber. You still got to be a business owner. You still got to be all these things. And if you traveling and trying to sustain your ability to do the day-to-day, you will hit that wall of burnout real fast. The biggest nemesis of any barber stylist is burnout. You don't want to do nothing to further encourage you getting to that point sooner. It's always going to be a client that's going to sit in that chair that's going to make you feel like this might be it.
Right.
I wouldn't suggest adding anything to that. Now, if you are single, young, you want to travel, then that might work for you.
Right.
That might be right in your lane, because you're available to do it. You're available to sustain it. But if your goal is to grow, cement yourself in your community and grow, where people know you where you are, build your family. If your baby go to school somewhere, or you have children at all, your plan is to get married or anything like that, highly advised, consider it before you in that direction.
Let me say this. With all that being said, that's the beauty of this industry. Absolutely. Is that whatever works for you, we're the plug. People need our services and what it is that we do. So if it's somebody that likes getting out there, like you said, traveling, and that lifestyle works for them, or if you want to be planted in the barbershop, I know that's my thing too. But whatever works for individuals, this is a beautiful industry, and it gives you choices. With that being said, somebody had a question earlier, and just for all of us, and I know, you know, you're big on different tools. Somebody asked earlier, what are the best trimmers that you've used and came across? I've seen that earlier.
Yeah. So I think best is subjective, right? Like everyone's going to have their own feeling towards certain tools or whatever. And like you said, I've used a lot of trimmers, you know, a lot of them, like almost everyone that came out, I've tried. And in my personal opinion, I try to be unbiased when I talk about tools, but I do have my, but in my personal opinion, I think the best ones currently would probably have to be still the Babyliss, the FX, the Gold FX,
Okay.
and the new Sabers from Stylecraft.
Okay.
And I say that, but I also want to say that the Andis T outliners, the black ones, the GTX Exos, those are up there too. So it's hard to pick, but I like the way the Babyliss and the Sabers feel in my hand better than the Andis. But the Andis perform.
Sabers?
Yeah, the Stylecraft Sabers.
That's
Okay.
the kind of short bodies, right?
Nah, it's the new ones.
Okay.
I'll have to look at those. I'm not familiar with those.
But the Andis GTX Exo, it works good. I didn't like it how it felt in my hand, but it worked really good.
Okay.
So it's hard to say which one is the best because every barber's gonna have their own opinion. But I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay. I love all kind of clippers, but I've come up on a new clipper, and I've been having a ball with it.
Boy, I got him with it.
It was red.
Ball with it. Like for real, the four man, I've been a ball with it. My man Rico, he has done wonderful things. Like I said, I've been 20 plus, man, and I've had all kind of clippers, and boys jump out the box, and I've just been hitting, barely tapping, and they've been going to work. So feel good in my hand. They lightweight, you know, zero gap to perfection. So right now, you know, that's I'm having a ball with them, man.
I would agree, man. I would agree because I've been using the 4MAS trimmers for about a week now.
Okay.
And I didn't have to adjust them. That was the biggest difference maker for me because I used the Andis GTX too, the black cordless ones. I used those, and out the box, I had to adjust them to get them where I wanted them. For me, the biggest, I guess, what attracts me to a clipper is how ready to go is it out the box.
Yeah.
How ready to go is it out the box? When I pull it out the box, do I have to do a bunch of adjusting? Do I got to switch the blade? Do I got to put on, you know, ceramic, or is it ready to go out the box, charge it and go? And that's what I found with the 4MAS. Yeah.
With the kill.
Yeah. I'm like you, man. These eyes, as I get older, these eyes don't work like they used to. You see, I got my extra, my help on my face. So looking at, you know, being able to adjust, so being able to jump out that box, that means a lot to me. So yeah. What about you, AO?
Man, I ain't even gonna hold y'all, boy. Man, them Andis GTX, man, they got me in a chokehold right now. I can't put them down. And I didn't fool with them at all at first. Like I would go all the way around. Like I see him, I'm like, no, I ain't gonna get him. And some just one day just was like, grab a pearl, man. I done bought I got like 3 or 4 pearls.
The wait, with Kev, Wavy Kid Kev, he wanted to know what we were talking about. We're talking about what is your favorite trimmer as a barber right now? So, yeah. I ain't tried the GTX.
They good.
Yeah, they work. I gotta say they do work good. Yeah,
and I think everybody in the game, Andy's been around for so long. You know, they're gonna always have GOAT status, but I'm partial right now.
Definitely. You got Stress Cuts, another dope name. That's a dope IG Stress Cut. Let me make sure I follow you because that IG is hard. I gotta make sure I follow because you got some inspiration just off your Stress Cuts. Say he had a comment he made earlier, moving to a new location. How do we deal with barbers he feel is hating on him? What's the rest of the question? Barbers that's hating on him, or is it even worth it? Should you just move on to the new location, or is there a way to address it? it's perspective, right? Understand that hating is a very lazy form of flattery, my boy. If they hating on you, you're doing something right. You're doing something right. Keep doing you.
Right.
Don't change up what you're doing to accommodate somebody's insecurities with themselves. Talk that talk.
Mm.
That come with it. Like that come with it. If you ain't doing nothing right, they wouldn't be worried about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A lot of times, man, people take out their own insecurities on you because your ability to do something that they haven't motivated themselves to do, or they don't know how to do.
That's you expressing yourself
Exactly.
in ways that they haven't made it to yet.
Doing is to be negatively associated with it.
Yeah.
Let them be, man. Let them be.
So I want to piggyback a little bit. I just want to add something to that.
Go ahead.
When people talk, I like to hear that because that in turn motivates me. Like if people are hating on me, like that would motivate me to go even harder so I can shut this dude up. Because they can't say nothing once I'm doing good. Like once I'm successful at whatever it is, whether it's building your clientele, owning the shop, whatever it may be, once I get to where I need to be, they can't say nothing. And if they do, then it's not even like it's irrelevant.
Right.
So just go hard. Go hard. That's it.
Also, if you doing what you doing and you making them connections with your clients, you're gonna be untouchable.
Right.
Yep.
People gonna do a lot of the gum bumping, but your client gonna back you. Every time your client hits somebody, another barber in another shop or whatever the case, talking ill on you, they gonna be like, who we talking about?
Right.
Nah, bro. Hell nah. That ain't nah. That ain't
Right.
that's nah. Cap. Stop cap.
And if you're doing something right to begin with.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You give them something to talk about.
Understand that doing nothing doesn't warrant attention.
Right.
You gotta be doing something for people to even be focusing on you.
Absolutely.
So take it as a silent nod of accomplishment. That's all it is, bro. They see the haters' way of saying I love you is, oh, you trash, bro. You garbage. You garbage.
Right.
You just saying that, bro. You doing something right.
Right.
You doing something right. And even if you're not perfect, if you're not where you want to be, use that as an encouragement to put another fresh battery in your back and keep moving forward, bro. If you're gonna fail forward. Don't ever fail in somebody else's stagnant monotony. Like, nah, we ain't doing that, bro.
Go harder.
Go hard.
Wait, just make you go hard. Yeah.
Can't slow me down.
No, sir.
Can't slow me down.
Somebody said it in the comments earlier, right? The one thing we gotta always remember that as human beings we tend to get away from. What's yours is yours already.
Absolutely.
Whether you receive the blessing or not,
Right.
it's already yours. You can't nobody say or do nothing to distract or take you or deviate what God already got planned for you, unless you start moving in the opposite direction of what the plan was supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Huh?
Absolutely.
You.
Absolutely.
That boy finna start preaching now.
Right.
Come on, pal.
Understand the struggle out here in the South, how they did me coming from Chicago, bro.
So with that being said, with you being in being a Houston barber, is there camaraderie amongst barbers in your area, Tank?
So I think now there is.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say maybe 8 years ago, there was somewhat of a, I don't want to say a beef, but there was some type of, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word right now. It's going to click to me a little bit. But there's there's a little bit of animosity between some
out there.
There was some. And not saying me personally or anyone I knew, just talking to other barbers, I would always hear, oh, this person don't like me, or this barber don't like me, or this barber's mad at me because I took his client. It was always stuff like that. And it's like, man, like, honestly, I think it was just misunderstanding. I don't really think any barber really hated each other. But now with social media, and we have a lot of events out here in Houston, little battles, little showcases that a lot of the barbers go to, and the camaraderie is really huge out here, man. Like a lot of them always come up to me and we chop it up. the new barbers come up to me and ask me, you know, hey, what do I need to do for this? Yada, yada, yada. And I try to help them out. And I think the camaraderie is really big now. And I don't think it's just in Houston. I think across the board now, due to social media, and so many people can connect with other people.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, that's a major contributor to it, man. Major.
Right.
But you know what? It's just geographically where you located, bro. Texas, Florida, Chicago, and New York.
Mm-hmm.
Dense in barbers. Dense.
There's a lot of
and not just throwaway barbers. I'm talking about talented barbers.
Right.
Dense.
Right.
So yeah, anywhere it's like that. Memphis, Mississippi, bro. It's gonna be like that.
Right.
It's gonna be like that. But let me ask you this, man. I was having this conversation earlier today with a guy. He got 30 years experience in the industry, and I was asking him. I'm gonna ask y'all. This is a community question for everybody on the podcast, everybody listening. What can we do to start to change the narrative of the cliquish scene in barbering? It's a lot in cities. I know you see it in your city. I see it in mine. It's a lot of clicks. Everybody clicked up. And this clique don't mess with that clique for whatever reason. The old school Neanderthal barbers don't mess with the enhancement barbers. The enhancement barbers ain't messing with the corded barbers. Yeah. The corded barbers ain't messing with the appointment barbers, and the appointment barbers don't do walk-ins. So what can we do to kind of break up them cliques and get everybody on the understanding that as long as we keep servicing this industry productively, we all lead. Yeah. Your win, my win. My win is your win.
Right. Yeah. As a community, whether, like you said, whether you're an older barber, a younger barber, appointment barber, walk-in barber, whatever type of barber you are, I think we just all need to come to an agreement and an understanding that whatever type of barber you are, whether you use enhancements, whether you don't, whether you only do walk-ins, whether you do appointments, whether you work all day, whether you work late night, whatever type of barber you want or you think you want to be, there's going to be clients for you.
No doubt.
There's going to be a client for every single barber out there. If you want to charge $10 a haircut and get clients out in 10 minutes, I guarantee you there are people looking for those barbers because they got places they got to go. You want an hour on a haircut and give the most blurriest blend, enhancement, everything, there's going to be clients looking for that. You want to just walk-ins all day, there's going to be clients looking for that. So I just think collectively we need to understand that I shouldn't be worried about what the next barber's doing because he's getting to his bag. I need to worry about just getting my bag and staying in my lane.
Absolutely.
Everybody barbering in their own way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it should just, be a brotherhood, sisterhood, and just respect what everybody's doing, like you said. And again, that's the beautiful part of the industry is we have choices. I don't get the animosity, the cliquishness, and I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying, me personally, but I guess you probably have that in any career field. You know what I mean? Basketball, football, baseball, whatever, because I think it boils down to characteristics of individuals.
I agree. It's somebody said it earlier in the comments just now. I scrolled past it. They said it needs to be more mentoring, and it needs to be more people with those generations in the game. But two folds to that story, right? It needs to be more mentoring, meaning more guys with maturity, longevity in the industry, willing to mentor the guys coming in. But it also needs to be more guys willing to listen. More getting, because it does you no good if you getting jewels and you just throwing them out because you don't understand them.
You being from Houston, it's interesting. I got a story from yesterday. So me and my son work together. So of course he has a younger clientele, right? So one of his homeboys was in yesterday. And he comes in with his iPad. So I'm like, what you watching? He said, I'm checking out the $1 million worth of game with Gillie and Wallow with the Prince family. Mm-hmm. So he's talking about Jay Prince and his family, his son and whatnot. So he like, man, dude old and he think he got pulled and I'm like, bro, he heavy. Like he happy. He done put it. He done put his work in. He done made relationships. His character been thorough. He has pulled. Man, y'all don't understand it. Us new guys, we don't care about no old school cats. And that's their mentality. Every time hit my son with my son favorite word all day long. You old. That was a long time. We no matter what we talk, that's the mentality of them younger dudes. I'm like, man, do a little research, man. Check what Jay Prince is about. He got a good book. Just, you know what I'm saying? Check his credentials, man. You know, man. Us new school, man. We ain't going for none of that. We don't want to hear that. And that's the mentality in all eras. And so then when you start seeing this era of barbering with social media and stuff, it's hard for them to take it all in. And I think that's the biggest part. In order to be a mentor, you got to have a mentee. You know, and they got to be. That's the toughest part.
Yeah. So real quick, while we jumping through these subjects, we got a few more questions. Tank, we don't know how long we holding you, bro. Whenever you got to go, you let us know.
You good? I let her hear myself talk, man. Let's get it.
Okay. So first and foremost, thank everybody for tuning in. This is I Cut My Way Up podcast live with Tank B. Choppin. We also have Ash at Beard Culture
Barbershop and Gallery.
Barbershop and Gallery.
Yes,
he ain't got to introduce that dude down there. That's A.O. Ace of Face, the original OG. It was we got all that cleared up. He's the original A.O. Ace of Face. I am your neighborhood barbershop of barber. We do this every Wednesday night. We bring in the most influential barbers in the barbering industry who are coming out and they out here making an impact and they have something to say. We're trying to bring those stories to you. So if you are not already doing so, make sure you follow us. Hit that little right there. Just tap that little thing right there to drop down. Follow everybody. While you still here, a lot of people been doing it and we appreciate you. Hats off to you. I'm all the way off, but I'm not because my lining is not right. Hit the row at the bottom down on that corner. And make sure you share the lives to 5 people. If 5 people share to 5 people, how many people is that? More people. My math ain't good. Let's go. So the question we got in here, we got stylist Brianna again. Didn't we just ask? No, she said, do y'all do battle cuts? What do you think about traveling and teaching? That's 2 questions. She slipped one in there. She's sneaky. We got to watch you. How y'all feel about battling cuts? Competitions, I'm assuming that's what she means. Again, not everybody at once, man.
I want to let y'all speak, man. I feel like I've been talking about it. I want to let
do you do competition cuts?
Nah. So, okay, I guess I'll speak now.
Yeah.
I've never been in an actual barber battle. Like I've never done one. I've been the judge of a few. I've gone to them. I've seen my co-barbers compete, and it's cool. You know, I think it's cool. I don't do it. But it's cool to be at. It's cool to see, you know, every barber just locked in, you know, doing their magic. It's something really nice to see, man. I enjoy going and watching or judging or whatever the case may be, but I don't do them. And then I'm gonna go ahead and answer the second question. What do y'all think about traveling and teaching? That's been something that I've done here in Houston. I've gone to a couple barber schools. I've gone to a couple barber supply stores. We've held classes. I've taught not just how to cut hair, but how to build clientele, how to set pricing, how to do social media marketing, how to get clientele. I've taught a lot of different things that's based on barbering, not just cutting hair. And I really enjoy it. It's something that I may lean towards maybe here in the near future, not 100% sure yet, but it's something that I do like to do. But going back to what we said a couple hours ago, I still want to cut hair.
Right.
So, you know.
Right.
I want to cut hair. I'm going to keep up with you, bro. I don't care what I do. I'm going to keep up, and that's going to be our thing. When I see them, like, you still want to cut hair, bro? Yeah. So, shameless plug, unshameless plug. You're in, what part of Houston are you in?
I'm actually in, like, the southeast side of Houston.
Southeast side of Houston. I don't know how close you may be to Dallas, but there is an upcoming show February 19th in Dallas, Houston by Deanna Fox, the exclusive hair barber battle.
Okay.
She has put a lot of work into this show. A lot of work into it. We had her on maybe a month or so ago. But I'll be there. Ash, are you going?
I haven't figured that out yet. You know, the wife just had surgery, so she's back.
Okay. And I remember, Ayo, you said you had some stuff you had to take care of, or you got a show that you're gonna be at, because you got wait a minute, hold on, we just skipped past something. You know, Ayo got nominated, right? That got out.
Yeah. It's in March though. It's in, the show is in, the awards is in, I want to say it's in March. It's March 1st.
So you receiving an award, or you got nominated for an award?
Nominated. I mean, we don't know who's gonna win until that night. But me being who I am, just confident in myself, I feel like I'm taking home.
Nice. Now I understand what the AO and AO stands. It's the A, you know.
Come on now.
Bruh, I'm here, bruh. So yeah,
crazy.
Show coming up in Houston. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be the first things. Like one of the things that she has coming up that I absolutely cannot wait to see is, you know, when you go to shows, they have a lot of student battles, right?
Yeah.
When students come in, they do their battles. The way she's structured it is called do what you're supposed to do what you can, right? So the way she positioned that was the first leg of the battle, you're going to be doing a mock state board. You have to pass that to compete. Okay. So once you pass the state, it's like a little 20-minute little session, right? Something small that you should pass if you're in school, right? Once you pass that, now you do what you can. You get busy with your client and do your thing. I love this because I feel like I've gone to a lot of shows somewhere along the line of student competitions. They kind of started to trend in a different direction where they were trying so much to be like the licensed barber competitions that they kind of lost the essence of what they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
I want to see you showcase your talent, but I feel like it should be almost more important that before you set up to cut your canvas for the show, I'm watching to see if you're going through your practices of what you're supposed to be doing when you finna take your test. You sanitize? Did you pre-sanitize before you set that case down? Did you put your gloves on? You dropped your comb. Did you pick it up, or did you get another comb?
Yeah.
I want to see those things. I think that should be as much a part of a student battle as a battle.
It's like being in school, man. It's like you want to play sports, but you can't play sports unless you do what you're supposed to and pass your classes.
Absolutely.
So I like that.
Right.
Absolutely. I think that's going to be dope, man.
Yeah.
Ash, how you feel about the battle, going traveling and battling? Well, both of the questions. She's so big too.
I love to watch it, never competed, but I love the energy. I love how they lock in and do their thing. And some, you know, and again, it's different lanes for different barbers. There's some that lock into it and they love to compete, and that's their lane. And I think it's a beautiful thing. As far as traveling and teaching, at some point in time, that's something that I would definitely have some interest in doing, because I think when we talked about just mentorship, just, you know, teaching things the right way and how the right way to do things, you know, and I think even in my experience with barber school, it was some outside of just the technique of cutting hair and the sanitation and just the science of it all, just the life skills and the things that go along with the approach and trying to find, you know, your right shop and the do's and don'ts of a barber shop and those things that I think are missing. Like we mentioned, you know, everybody's their own boss and, you know, independent contractor and you know, those things are putting a black eye on the barbershops in general. So that education piece is major as, you know, the craft continues to grow and we put it in the hands of youngsters.
Absolutely. I just seen Cuz by Reggie jumping here. Reggie, what it do? My God, what's going on? I see you. Yeah, that's the dude right there. Hey, look. YouTube, when we gonna get that collaboration, bro? YouTube, when we gonna get that collaboration, bro? Talk to me, bro. Reggie, you know you're watching now, so you heard it, bro. When we gonna get that collaboration?
It's funny, man. Like me and Reggie, I think we both started YouTube around the same time. I don't know if he started a little bit before me or vice versa, but we started both around the same time, and we kind of do real similar things, but in our own way. Like he does his reviews, I do my reviews. He does his unboxing, I do mine, and we both cover the same thing but differently. So you get two different opinions of it, which I think is really good, even though it's the same machine. And he's just a cool dude, man. Like, I've never met him in person, but just through Instagram, I got his number. Me and him talk a lot. Like we've both been put in good positions based off of YouTube, what we were doing on YouTube. And we've been talking about linking up, and it sucks because we were supposed to link up at Connecticut CT Barber Expo last year, but something happened with him and he couldn't make it out. And we still chop it up pretty much on a daily, man, whether it's through text or on Instagram. We still talk pretty frequently, and we're gonna be setting something up, man. As soon as we can get in the same spot, we're gonna set something up.
Say less.
Will you be at the Barber Expo this year, the Connecticut Expo?
Oh yeah.
Okay. We'll link in.
Hey man, I feel like we need to take a camera out there, man. We need to take a camera and a device, man. For real. And just hit that thing running.
Okay.
I'm running.
I'm gonna have mine.
Huh?
I said I'm gonna have mine.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Listen, we gonna talk about it. We got some things coming up, man. If you don't know, we're grooming this thing to become something more, right? Because it is so much value in these lives. It's so much value in being able to communicate with guys like yourself that's willing to be transparent, that's willing to talk not only about the industry, but the ups and downs of the industries, the how-tos and do's and don'ts of the industry, and what motivates you, what encourages you to continue to push forward inside of it. So we I think I can speak for all of us when we say thank you. We really appreciate your time. We appreciate you coming on and breaking bread with us and being able to, be transparent and be you.
Yeah.
It's dope when we get somebody like you on, and who you are in your videos, it's the same person you are on this live. Because this flat foot right here, it don't get no more flat than this, because it ain't really no way to prepare to be fake or something like that. You don't know where it's going to go.
Right.
So to be yourself and be able to come on and do that, man, my hat's off to you. You got to follow me for good, my boy, because as long as you keep it out there, now I want to see it.
All right. I want to say I appreciate y'all for having me. I know my boy Cutflow Dre had hit me up to try to get on with y'all last week.
Yes, sir.
Working that day, and I was at the shop till a little later than I wanted to be, so I couldn't make it. And I want to apologize to y'all for that. I ain't even apologized to y'all yet. But I just appreciate it, man, because this is so dope to me that I have people like interested in what I got to say.
Yeah.
And it just it's crazy to me, and I like it, and I like spreading what I can spread to help the community, because your reach might be different than my reach, might be different than another podcast reach. So a lot of times I come on these things and I try to just be 100 with everybody and just try to be as transparent and as true as I can be, because it's going to help these people, regardless if I'm saying the same thing on every podcast. It don't matter, because it's going to reach different people. And I just really appreciate y'all for giving me a platform to talk to these people about barbering or whatever the case may be.
Absolutely. We appreciate it. Man, gratitude, man. You inspire the culture. You're doing your thing, man. And we're just appreciative. And we got to give a shout out to Cutflow Dre. I'm gonna start calling him John Stockton. He's throwing dimes, like real talk. So we appreciate him for the assist, man. We appreciate you for being willing to come on and share your journey and hit us with some nuggets and just be part of what we're doing, man. We greatly appreciate that.
Alrighty, man. No problem. Anytime I want to do this again, just let me know, and we can set this shit up. I'm with it.
Hey, that's awesome, bro. That, I think, going forward, that for me is the best compliment anybody can give.
Absolutely.
But for somebody to say, hey, if y'all want to do it again, I'm with it. That means it was good. You know what I mean? It was positive.
Absolutely.
It's supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's we rocking with that. So before we let you go, I think we're gonna start making this a thing, man. Do you follow I Cut My Way Out podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
However, I just followed them today.
With respect. Bang, respect. That's what we need. That's what we need.
And that's us collectively.
Yeah.
That's our thing.
Exactly. And I want you to lead the people with this, man. What is in the future for you, or do you have a message, anything that you want to leave with the people before we let you go?
Yeah, man. I just want to tell all the newer barbers, the people coming just straight out of barber school who can't find a shop, can't find clientele, who don't really know how to build clientele, don't know how to talk to clients, don't know how to do any of this. I just want to tell y'all, just keep pushing, man. Keep working, keep doing what you think is right, keep putting the right foot forward, learn, be willing to learn, take in as much knowledge as you possibly can, and keep pushing, and you're going to get there. You're going to get there. Just keep getting it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's a good message, man. What about you, Ayo? What you going to leave with? Ayo, you are my boy. I just need you to know what you going to leave with the people, man.
I mean, it's kind of like what he said, man. Like you just can't stop, man. Like it happened. It's gonna happen for you. You know, you just can't give up. Like, and you can, like you said, you always got to be willing to learn. Like we as barbers, a lot of us are visual learners, and a lot of us, you know, we learn from a lot that's passed down to us. So like, you just can't get comfortable with learning. You got to always be willing to want to learn. Cause this game, it evolves every day.
Absolutely.
And if you one of them ones that want to sit back and just be like, you know, I'm comfortable where I'm at, a couple weeks from now, it's gonna turn into years from now, you know. And before you know it, you way behind on stuff right in front of you every day.
Run that back. That just spoke to my soul, bro. Run that back. What you say? A couple of what turned into a what?
A couple of weeks will turn into a couple of years real quick.
Right.
And for you know, like I said, you always got to be willing to learn. Like I learn from people every day. Every time I open my Instagram or whatever social I'm on, and I'm looking through her, 'cause I'm learning. I'm learning from some of these guys I don't know, never met, never seen. You know, I'm learning. I pick up something off of them. Like, as coming out of school, like, you got to be willing to learn. You got to.
Nice. What you say in that first episode we did, bro? That's gonna be the this week's caption. I'm gonna tell you in it when I put it.
Right.
That's gonna be the caption. What you just said, a couple weeks turned into a couple years. I'm finna put that on at least the next 4 videos. I'm gonna tell you, that's a great message.
I done seen it happen to people though, man.
Right.
Definitely. I was a victim. It happened. I victimized myself.
It can happen. That's a form of us learning from that though. You know what I'm saying? Like it can easily happen. You know, it can definitely easily happen.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Osh? What you got? Wrap it up, boss. So, the brains behind the whole operation.
I gotta go ahead and put this back up here. My man Formas.
My boy got
man, if y'all this clipper,
got a holster for
it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Anybody on here watching us, following us, you place your order on 4milesgrooming.com. Put in I cut my way out 15. You'll get a 15% discount and free shipping. Give it a shot. You'll be pleasantly surprised, man. We done been through a lot of clippers. It's definitely
Reggie with it.
I'm gonna give him a shot. I'm gonna give him a try.
Reggie just did one on the blackout joint.
Yeah.
It's the same clip. It's just all black.
Yep, blackout.
It was
top into the skeleton joint. It's a nice design, man. It's a nice clip. A zero gap to perfection. Also,
I'm gonna try that.
Just want to say thank you for everybody. For those of you who have watched, who have joined, who have asked questions, we greatly appreciate it. If you haven't follow us. You can catch our full interviews on YouTube. Subscribe to that. Keep rocking with us, man. We're growing, man. We're having some amazing guests on. We're getting gems and jewels, man. And we appreciate all our guests. Again, Cut Flow Dre, man. Magic Stockton, we greatly appreciate you, man. And closing out, man. Everybody have a beautiful evening, and we appreciate you.
Definitely. Y'all have a good night, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right.